I mean, I know like a lot of times, like I know the stuff. Create a habit like with live streaming. Like I had a habit of streaming 3 hours, but then I stopped, and now it's hard to get back on track. But like if you keep on like doing the habit, you just it just becomes easier and easier. And same thing with exercise, and like what it's saying is like you're just doing it and keep on doing it, and no matter what, and you eventually you wouldn't even think about it, and you're doing it, and it would be helpful, and like it's just like that is honestly what you gotta do. Just change your habits. This video will help change my life. At least I think it will. Maybe not, but it could help you. Could help me. Let's get into the video. One tiny step at a time. How is this gonna work?
People, there is a gap between the person you are and the person you wish to be. There are little things you think you should do and big things you ought to achieve. From working out regularly, eating healthily,
I gotta start working out,
working on your novel, reading more, or simply actually doing your hobby instead of browsing Reddit. But it sometimes feels that to achieve your goals, you have to become a different person. Someone who is consistent, puts in more effort, has discipline and willpower. Maybe you've tried your hardest to be like that, and it worked for a while, until you find yourself slipping back into your old ways.
That does happen. That just literally happened like a week ago.
And with every failed attempt, you become more and more.
Yeah, like a week ago, I was like exercising every single day. It was like I was doing it, like I was literally training, and then like I got this like cold, and like whenever I get a cold, like if I work out even a little bit, my I get like headaches and like eye pain. So then I just like stop. I'm like, no, I can't do it. So then like a week, like now it's been like a week later, and I have not gone to the gym yet. Still, it's just, and my cold's gone, so I could go. It's just me being very lazy. But I gotta get back on it.
Frustrated
so
and
I understand
this,
yourself. Yeah.
If you believe
also with the
success and hustle
like
internet, it's all your own fault. If you don't succeed, you just didn't want it enough, and the failure is all you. But change is actually hard. And as with most things in life, understanding why makes things easier.
Kurzgesagt.
The jungle. Imagine your brain as a lush and dense jungle. Moving through it, say to make a decision to do something, is like moving through an actual jungle. It's hard and it costs energy. Your brain hates expending energy, so it came up with a trick. All your actions and behaviors leave paths in the jungle of your brain. As you start doing something, you trample down some plants and make rough, improvised trails through the undergrowth. The more often you do the thing, the more pronounced the trail becomes.
I've never
Over time, it turns into a path that is easy to tread, so you take it more often, and it turns into a street. As you repeat doing the thing over and over for years, the street turns into a highway. Traversing it becomes effortless, familiar, and comfortable.
Yeah.
The more pronounced your brain highways, the more you get used to their comfort. So we continue to use them, which means we tend to do what we've always done. This is why change is hard, especially as an adult, when your jungle is crisscrossed by lots of established streets and highways. To understand how those highways are built, we need to distinguish between two things: routines and habits. The things you do, routines and habits. A routine is a sequence of actions that you carry out the same way every time because they've worked out well for you. For example, you get the same ingredients for your favorite dish and cook them in a certain order because you like the taste of the result. Or before going to bed, you set an alarm at 6:30 because this is when you want to get up.
7:15.
Imagine routines as being executed by a wise planner. It's slow and analytical, responsible for strategizing and mental calculations. The planner is aware of the future and carefully considers what kinds of result you want. Based on that, it chooses actions to achieve specific outcomes, even if they are uncomfortable, like taking a shower after getting up. Routines can eventually turn into habits, which feel much easier because they're basically a sequence of actions carried out without thinking about them. You've done them so often before that your brain considers them rewarding and a great response to a situation. So a habit can feel like you're on autopilot. You don't have to convince yourself to do something that's a habit.
A dog
you just do it.
You is a habit.
The important thing about habits is that they are set in motion by triggers, context cues that can be single things or entire situations that give your brain the signal to start the behavior or action. You already have a lot of triggers in your life, like when you see your phone. You almost always unlock the screen. Or you reach for the seatbelt when you sit in a car. Or when you buy your coffee before work, you also get a cookie, even though you aren't actually hungry. Habits are executed by an impulsive toddler. It responds to your immediate desires based on what's around you, without considering any longer-term goals. For the toddler, the future doesn't exist and it hates hard work. So when it notices a trigger, it steers you to take this easy road inside your brain that leads to a familiar, rewarding result. If you get coffee, the toddler also wants the cookie just because that's what you do every morning. This rewarding feeling is also how most of your bad habits started. Chocolate is tasty, browsing Reddit is occasionally mildly entertaining. This is why you repeat these actions, even if they're bad for you.
I mean, actually Reddit's
associated
better.
with an action
Twitter,
demand to be repeated, and
for me it's Twitter instead of Reddit. I browse Twitter, and Twitter is like a hellhole sometimes. So it's just
a bad habit is born.
It's a very bad
While
habit.
the toddler sounds like a built-in sabotage mechanism, it is as important as the wise planner, and actually they work together most of the time. You need your wise planner for thinking big thoughts and parallel parking and doing your taxes. But letting your wise planner do everything would cost too much energy. Outsourcing mundane and repetitive tasks to habits managed by the toddler allows your brain to easily manage your daily life while dealing with more complex mental challenges at the same time. So if we want to change and introduce a new behavior into our lives, we can actually use these energy-saving mechanisms to make it easier. We'll focus on small things, not big ones. Improving your life a little is so much better than aiming high and changing nothing. Especially because small changes can do a lot over months and years. How to build a habit.
Still not as tall. No.
If you want to make change easier, the best way may not be to force it with willpower, but to convince your brain that it's not that big of a deal. By creating new routines and then turning them into habits. You want your wise planner to construct that first trail and then use your toddler to help initiate the action effortlessly. Let's say you want to work out to be fitter, a very common goal. The first thing to do is to break down this pretty vague goal into clear, separate actions, because the idea is to make the action itself as easy a threshold as possible. So small it's manageable, and so specific that you don't have to think about it a lot. For example, a tangible, controllable action might be doing 10 squats every morning. So you can start by trying to create a routine, but already include clear triggers that the toddler can pick up later on. Remember, a trigger is nothing more than a signal that you always associate with the action. They can be visual pointers like seeing a particular object, like your training outfit, or a certain time of day, or a designated place like a nearby park, or even better, all of these things combined. The important thing is that you always start doing your action in a specific context. This trigger is the start button that will eventually set off the action automatically. So to establish a home workout habit with 10 squats to begin with, you could make sure to always do them with your exercise gear on at the same place and time, like in your living room at 8 AM. Once you have your trigger and action, all you need to do is repeat them regularly, ideally every day. If you keep going, they will change from a habit, from a trail to a highway.
Keep on doing it every day and you
Don't get this wrong, the squats will still take you energy to do. But the decision to do them will feel much less like a chore and more like a regular part of your day. While this is simple, it's not easy. Many things you want to turn into habits don't offer as much instant gratification as wasting time on Reddit. To make your new action easier to repeat and more likely to be picked up by the toddler, try to make it pleasurable. Not necessarily by rewarding yourself after you've done it, but by making the action or behavior itself more enjoyable. Like only listening to your favorite podcast while working out, or chipping away at your taxes while you wait for civilization to load the next round. You need to figure out what works for you. In principle, that's it. Frustratingly simple, like most things you can do to make your life better. How long it takes for your toddler to take over and establish a habit varies widely. It depends on the behavior you're trying to get used to, what kind of person you are, your stress levels, and many more things. It takes anything between 15 and 250 days until a new habit is kicked off automatically by its trigger. You won't know how long it will take for you.
10,000 hours.
Starting is the easy part, especially in the first week or two.
I'm basically doing it.
Continuing to do it every day is the hard part, but it does get easier as you keep going. There are no silver bullets for change, but the science of habits is a reminder that it is possible no matter how old or young you are. Even if you only end up doing a little more good stuff or a few new things, that's still a success. Being a little bit more healthy or knowledgeable is a million times better than being unhappy about a thing and changing nothing. In the end, change is a direction, not a destination. So now, hoping we've given you a bit of insight and motivation, here is a thing we made to make this progress easier with design and science. Please bear in mind you don't need to buy anything to work on yourself. This is optional. Having said that, we struggle with change as much as anyone else, so we've created our own habit journal.
I think what we did is just to find an online resource.
Before we printed anything, we tested it on ourselves and got feedback from the Kurzgesagt team and experts. The idea is for you to track your habit progress for your desired behavior.
Isn't it Kurzgesagt?
There's a tutorial part which guides you through the hardest part of the process step by step. You'll get helpful pointers, reflect on your progress,
and how
you could make things easier for yourself. Once you get through the tutorial part, the habit journaling starts, regularly interwoven with examples,
and the checking out, that actually is really good.
Interesting. Like our gratitude journal, it's cloth-bound, with an embossed hardcover and printed on high-quality paper. Nice to the touch and with lots of beautiful illustrations, this book is a companion on your personal change journey.
This honestly is like a good.
Getting things from our shop is the best way to support
the tutorials and also the checking out and also everything else.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching also, and please subscribe and share and have a great day. I feel like I learned something new with this, like like how to actually I know like a lot of times I know the stuff create a habit with live streaming. I had a habit of streaming 3 hours, but then I stopped, and now it's hard to get back on track. But if you keep on doing the habit, it just becomes easier and easier. And same thing with exercise, and what it's saying is you're just doing it and keep on doing it, and no matter what, and you eventually you wouldn't even think about it, and you're doing it, and it would be helpful, and it's just that is honestly what you gotta do, just change your habits. And this video is very entertaining. I really enjoyed it. Maybe more Kurzgesagt. I don't know how to say it, but if you want that link, comment down below, like and subscribe, and have a great day.